I rang my daughter Chloe to ask about the family Boxing Day buffet, and her husband Ryan smirked. "We did a quiet one yesterday, Mum, just the VIPs." I stood in my own dining room, the one I'd paid £6,000 to extend for their big gatherings, clutching a £90 John Lewis voucher for the Turkey Crown. I said nothing. I quietly cancelled the £1,200 monthly standing order that kept their Range Rover on the road. And what happened next had the finance lads towing it from the driveway while the Cheshire Village Facebook group filmed the whole sorry scene on their iPhones. The fairy lights were still twinkling on the Christmas tree in the corner of my lounge, real pine, £85 from the garden centre in Knutsford, because Chloe had said, "Mum, we need proper Scandi vibes this year." I'd lugged it home in the boot of my little Fiesta, pine needles in my hair and sap on my coat, humming along to Radio 2's festive playlist. I'd spent the week before baking mince pies, stuffing dates with marzipan, and wrapping the £90 John Lewis voucher in gold paper with a ribbon that cost another £3. I'd pictured the whole clan round my extended dining table, oak, 8-seater, £2,200 from Oak Furnitureland, laughing over pigs and blankets and pulling crackers I'd bought in bulk from Costco. I'd rung Chloe on Christmas Eve. "Boxing Day buffet, love? I'll do the turkey crown, you bring the trimmings. Grandkids can open their prezzies here, save you carting them across Cheshire." "Sounds perfect, Mum," she'd said, voice bright as tinsel. Ryan's got the mulled wine sorted. So there I was, 10 a.m. on Boxing Day, in my best red cardigan and the pearl brooch my late husband Harold had given me on our 30th, standing in the dining room I'd had knocked through in 2019. The builders had taken 3 months. I'd lived on sandwiches and dust while Chloe FaceTimed from her sun lounger in Dubai. "Make sure they match the skirting boards, Mum." I'd paid the £6,000 bill without a murmur, Harold's life insurance again, the same pot that had already coughed up £48,000 for their deposit on the Mock-Tudor detached in Alderley Edge. I pressed call. Chloe answered on the third ring, breathless. "Happy Boxing Day, love. What time shall I expect you?" "I've got the voucher for the Turkey Crown, thought we could pop to Waitrose together, make a morning of it." Ryan's voice cut in before she could reply. He'd clearly grabbed the phone. "Actually, Mum, we did a quiet one yesterday. Just the VIPs. You know how you hate a crowd. VIPs." The word hit like a wet tea towel. I looked at the dining table already laid for 12, my best Portmeirion crockery, the napkins I'd ironed at midnight, the crackers lined up like soldiers. The silence on the line was thick enough to spread on a scone. Chloe came back, softer. "It was last minute, Mum. Ryan's work lot, my old uni mates. We didn't want to stress you out." "Stress me out?" I'd stress managed 3 house moves, Harold's chemo, and Chloe's wedding at Peckforton Castle where the florist charged £4,000 for peonies, because they're out of season, Mrs. Whittaker. I'd eaten Aldi own-brand custard creams for a month to cover the shortfall. I swallowed. "Right. Well, I'll just put the kettle on." Ryan snorted. "We're knackered anyway. Late one. Maybe keep the voucher, treat yourself." I ended the call, set the phone on the table next to the untouched stack of paper plates, and stared at the fairy lights until they blurred. Then I opened the banking app. The standing order was there, bold as brass. £1,200 to C and R. Bennett, 28th of every month. 4 years. £57,600. Straight from my pension into their Range Rover Velar, because image matters in Ryan's job, Mum. I pressed cancel. Confirmation pinged. Done. I didn't sleep. At 2 a.m. I was still in the dining room, fairy lights flickering, eating cold mince pies straight from the Tupperware. I thought about the £8,000 I'd given them for the cinema room, the £3,500 for Chloe's maternity leave, spa breaks, the £1,200 emergency vet bill when their cockapoo ate a Lego brick. I thought about Ryan's smirk. Next morning I rang the finance company. "Morning, love. Margaret Bennett here, Chloe's mum. Just checking the arrears on the Velar. The lass owed me a favor, I'd recommended her brother for a job at the golf club. 10 minutes later, £4,800 outstanding. 3 missed payments they'd hidden by juggling credit cards. I made tea, PG tips, 2 sugars, and opened my laptop. I transferred the £28,000 left in my ISA into a new nationwide account. Sole name. No linked cards. Then I emailed the finance company from Chloe's old Hotmail, password still, Ryan Loves Chloe 2016, hi, please update direct debit details, new sort code attached. The PDF was a Canva special, good enough for a call center drone. By 9:47 a.m. their £1,200 was set to bounce straight back to me. I gave it 3 days. On the 28th my phone buzzed at 7:12 a.m. Chloe. I let it ring. 5 missed calls, then a text. Mom, the car payment failed. Repossession letter just came. Call ASAP, ****. I was in the shower. I finished my Radox lavender rinse, dried my hair with the Dyson I'd bought myself for once, and put on the red cardigan again. I looked festive for 72. By 10 a.m. the village Facebook group was alive. Mrs. Davies from number 14 posted a blurry video, drama on the Spinney. Repo men at the Bennetts. I walked round with a Tupperware of leftover mince pies like I was just being neighborly. The finance lads were already there, 2 burly blokes in high-vis, winching the Velar onto a flatbed. Chloe was on the driveway in Ryan's barber, hair in a bird's nest bun, shouting into her phone. Ryan was pacing, red-faced, yelling at someone from the bank. The cockapoo was yapping from the window. I stood on the pavement, mince pies in hand. Chloe spotted me. Mom. Thank God, tell them it's a mix-up with the direct debit. I tilted my head. Mix-up? The money didn't go through. We're £4,800 in arrears, they're taking the car. I took a bite of mince pie. Gosh. That's awkward. Ryan stormed over. Margaret, sort this. You've always covered it. I smiled sweetly. Have I? Must have slipped my mind. Old age, you know. Chloe's face crumpled. You said you'd help us forever. No, love. I said I'd help you get started. You're 35. Time to drive yourself. The repo man cleared his throat. Keys, please, sir. Or we cut the locks. Ryan tried to square up, 6 foot of entitled fury in chinos. The repo man didn't flinch. Step back, or we call the police. Mrs. Davies was live streaming. Mr. Patel opposite had his phone out too. By lunchtime the video was on the Alderley Edge community page, caption, Range Rover repo on the Spinney. Face with tears of joy #Boxing Day Blues. 4,000 views and rising. Chloe rang again that night, hysterical. We've no car. Ryan's got a pitch in Manchester tomorrow, how's he supposed to get there? I was watching Strictly reruns. Northern Rail's lovely. Or there's that zip car at the station, £8 an hour if you book ahead. You're enjoying this. I muted Claudia Winkleman. Chloe, I'm 72. I've got a hip replacement and a pension that barely covers the leche. I'm not enjoying anything. I'm just done. The line went dead. A week later the Velar was gone. I watched from my lounge window as they loaded the cinema room projector, the Smeg kettle, the bifold doors they'd never paid for. Ryan tried to blag the repo men with a sob story about elderly mum losing the plot. The driver handed him a card, take it up with citizens' advice, mate. Chloe carried the cockapoo down the path in the designer carrier I'd bought. She looked up at my window. Our eyes met. For a second I thought she might wave, might mouth sorry. Instead she turned away. I closed the curtains, poured a sherry, and opened my new nationwide app. £28,000 sitting pretty. I booked a week in the Cotswolds, cottage, log fire, the lot. £1,200. Pocket money. The estate agent rang the next day. Mrs. Bennet, your daughter's house is on at £750,000. Reckon we'll get asking, market's mad. List mine too, I said. I'm downsizing. Somewhere with a garden. 3 months later I was in a bungalow overlooking the Cheshire Plain, wind in my hair, sherry in my hand. The Alderley Edge Facebook still pings occasionally. Someone spotted Chloe on the Northern Rail replacement bus, Ryan cycling to the station in Lycra. The Cockapoos in a council kennel for a week while they sort finances. The John Lewis voucher bought me a new bird table instead. Some buffets, love, are best served cold.